are going to learn about types of internet connections. In the previous class, we had already studied about the history of internet, the evolution of internet, and about the modem, how a modem works. So today we are going to study about the different types of internet connections. So these are some of the types of internet connections. As you can see: dial-up connection, integrated services digital network, ISDN, DSL, which is digital subscriber line, cable service, that is cable broadband, satellite broadband, and wireless services. So we start with dial-up connection. As you can see, dial-up connection is basically based on the public switched telephone network, which is actually the plain old telephone service which was provided, through which all our phone lines are connected, through which we are able to contact our near and dear ones. So our computer is connected to a modem, the modem is connected to the telephone lines, and the telephone lines are connected to your ISP, that is your internet service provider, which is in turn connected to the rest of the internet. So you can see how the data transfer takes place in this case. So your modem is one device which converts digital signals coming from your computer into analog signals which could be transferred using the telephone lines. So connection between the computer and the ISP is done with the help of a modem. It is a limited time duration connection, that is for a limited time, for a particular time only connection would be established. And mostly what people have to do is they have, when they subscribe for a dial-up internet connection at home, they would generally have a connection icon, a new connection icon configured on the desktop, through in which the server's number is fed, which is dialed, and a connection, a temporary connection is established between the user's modem as well as the server. So it uses the telephone line to connect to the ISP's server. Now only one network is used for connecting to the ISP server. That is the reason why both your telephone signals as well as your computer's digital signals, they are also converted into analog signals. Hence there is not much difference between the frequencies of voice and data. Both have to travel through one single line, slower than other types of internet connections, and hence you cannot use internet and phone at the same time. If suppose you are in the middle of accessing the internet and you get a phone call, you will not be able to talk to people. So the ISP's number is dialed. You can see this connection icon which contains the username. Whenever a technician is sent to your premises to install the dial-up connection at home, he or she will create a new connection using a username which is provided to you by the internet service provider. If you want to keep your connection protected from unauthorized access, in case you are using a public computer, or only you want to use it and you don't want to allow any other person to use the internet connection, so in that case what you can do is you can also apply a password to protect your connection, where every time you want to establish a connection or start a new connection to internet, you will have to key in the password, and you will be provided a number, a telephone number, which is actually the number for the ISP. So the moment you dial, you will be given a connection. So you have to wait for some time, and it depends upon the peak hours. That is normally morning 10 a.m. to night 11 p.m. is considered as the peak hour, during which most of the educational establishments as well as offices are open and they make heavy use of the internet. So during this rush hour or peak hour, it is quite difficult to get a connection, but if you are lucky enough, you can get a connection anytime. So
we are not going to discuss ISDN in detail. So it was a kind of internet service or internet connection which came into existence around 1988. And at that time, there was a very strong requirement of coming out of dial-up connection because people were finding it very difficult. As days went by, the people's needs of people's data needs also increased, and when data needs increased, obviously you have to work on upgrading the existing technology. So what started happening was ISDN delivered up to 128 kbps of data. So that was a very little improvement over dial-up connection, but still, and moreover, the problem of your internet connection getting disrupted because of phone calls was also totally removed. So that was one advantage, and one advantage was this slight increase in the download speeds, but still ISDN was not a success. Why? Because soon it became obsolete as DSL captured the market. The moment DSL was launched, it took over the market as it provided higher speeds in lesser costs. Understood? And because of that, and you don't need to upgrade anything. It uses still, even today it uses your existing copper telephone lines. Understood? And it provides you speeds up to 100 mbps. So you can just think a significant revolution in the field of internet connections. ISDN connection is like this. I'm not going into the details of it. You can just see a normal ISDN connection where you have an ISDN modem, your landline phone, that is an analog phone, and you are connected to your computer. So different technologies, they have their different modems. Dial-up connection will have a different modem. DSL will have a different DSL modem. You cannot use a dial-up modem to access a DSL network. Even a few days ago, when Airtel upgraded its technology and made it V-Fiber, all the consumers, they had to undergo a change in the basic installation of modems, that we got our modems replaced. So company personnel, they came, they visited our homes, and they themselves installed a new V-Fiber modem at home. Next is broadband, that is your DSL modem. Now, how DSL modem works? It's a high data transmission internet connection which allows us to watch and download videos, check out live news, share huge files easily. We can work on internet and make a phone call at the same time. Now, I'll tell you the reason behind this. Now, our voice normally operates in frequencies up to 3.4 kilohertz, which is very less, okay, as compared to the capacity of already existing capacity of our copper telephone lines, which can carry around many million megahertz of frequencies. So because of this, the companies thought that why not use the same copper telephone line to carry voice plus data in different frequencies. So what happens is, when the same copper telephone line is carrying voice as well as data, and we use a splitter. A splitter is there at our end, which I already discussed in the beginning. Okay, so splitter divides the two. So it divides the two. How is it able to divide? Because our data connection works at frequencies of 8 kilohertz and more. And voice is only up to 3.4 kilohertz. So there is a wide difference or wide demarcation between voice as well as data. So when data and voice, they can work at different frequencies, easily they could be carried over the same copper telephone lines. Okay, so this is the reason why you are able to work on internet and make phone calls at the same time. Now DSL in itself is a very complex technology, students. I am just giving you a gist of it. Okay, do not go into the details of it, because According to the syllabus of your textbook also, only thing which you need to learn is the basic introduction. We are just touching the topics. Okay. So please do not think that we have to learn the physics. Don't go into the physics and chemistry of it, right? All what you need to know already I have told you. So you can just make a note of this point over here, that how uh, voice works and how data works. So the same line is used for carrying voice as well as data, and later on what happens is the same copper telephone lines which you are using, it gets split into two. So your voice will go, I'll just write it here. Voice goes in one direction, data goes in the other direction. Where would the voice go? The voice would be switched over to the PSTN, that is public switched telephone network. That is for all your voice calls and all, and your data would be taken over the data network. When we talk about data network, it means the internet cloud. So this is how it works. So voice goes in a different direction and data goes in the other direction. DSL and cable are considered high speed broadband connections. How? Let's see. High broadband information to homes and small businesses over standard copper telephone lines. And there are two flavors, SDSL and ADSL, where SDSL stands for, firstly, DSL. You can write these small full forms in your copy. Digital subscriber line. SDSL stands for symmetric DSL. ADSL stands for asymmetric DSL. Talking about now, DSL is split into these two. You will never get only DSL. What the technology which you will be getting these days is this, that is ADSL. We all are, if you are using a fixed line broadband, it is definitely what? ADSL. Okay. Symmetric DSL means same speeds of same download and upload speeds. But because according to our needs, normally our download requirements are more as compared to upload requirements. So here download speed is greater than that of upload speed in case of ADSL. Okay, because normally we don't upload much. We mostly download. We watch movies. Whenever we are watching movies, we are listening to songs on podcasts or online radio. That is what, whenever data transfer takes place, that is download. You might be thinking that I just opened a page of Google and I searched for the term DSL. I didn't download anything. How come the company is charging me for this? So actually, let me tell you, the company doesn't charge you for only download. It charges you for data transfer. Whenever there is a transfer of data, whenever you see the internet light of your modem blinking quickly, okay, fluctuating and blinking quickly. So that means data transfer is taking place. And whenever data transfer takes place, you are getting billed by the second. Okay. So this is known as data transfer. आपके सिस्टम से डेटा बाहर जा रहा है कि बाहर से डेटा अंदर आ रहा है, मतलब डेटा ट्रांसफर हो रहा है, और आपका डेटा क्या हो रहा है? बिल हो रहा है. ये being tracked by the company, how much data is being spent. This is the very reason I can explain it to you over here. This is the very reason why we need to keep our webcams off. Just imagine all 61. Right now I have 61 attendees in this meeting. All 61 of you, had it been that you had switched your webcam and microphone on, and my webcam is also on, just imagine the amount of lag you would find in the conversation going on. Mostly everybody is giving me the feedback that There is no lagging. That is why we all have switched our webcams off, microphone is off, data transfer is minimal right now. Okay. If you want to save data, certain tips I would like to give you. Like these online classes, you might be having certain problems these days regarding the waste of data, right? Very first rule, switch your webcam and microphone off. So the amount of, firstly, nothing is going out of your computer. Only thing is data is only incoming. There is nothing outgoing. Okay. Now that way what happens is right now as everybody has switched their webcams off and microphones off, and even my webcam is off, right? Only my voice is reaching you people and I'm sharing the screen still. And now if I stop sharing the screen, what will happen? Even less data transfer will be there. But right now I need to share you the screen with you, because without visuals you won't understand a single thing in computers, right? So I am just giving you a tip. Whenever you feel that you are in an online meeting, uh, share the screen only when it is necessary, switch on the webcam only when it is necessary. Got it? This way you can save a lot of data. Come back over here. Now there are two forms of DSL, ADSL and ADSL 2 plus. So version 2 of ADSL which we are using right now with certain updations. Okay. It splits a single telephone line into separate voice and data channels, allows you to make a phone call while surfing the internet at the same time. Download speeds are up to 170 Mbps. Like right now, I'm getting that speed. My speed, the speed of my modem can switch up to 70 Mbps. Okay. So I can download things very fast. So normally that way I am very fortunate to have a proper internet connection at home. Otherwise, this online video calling would have been totally impossible. This is the problem which even some teachers are also facing because of poor network of the cellular network, internet connection which they are using right now. Okay. Uploads are up to 27 Mbps. A trivia, that is, you can take a screenshot of this screen. GFast is a fiber to the node, FTTN, DSL technology. Fiber to the node means halfway, till halfway, that is still one of your switching offices, your fiber cables are used, and your rest is replaced by your normal copper cables. Like right now, the Airtel Extreme V Fiber which I am using, what they do is halfway through, that is from the central office to a local office, they are using, what, to a local of switching station, they are using fiber optic cables. And from that local switching station to my home premises, what is used? Copper. So a combination of, I'll just tell you how it is. This is your central office. Suppose central office to a local switching office. Local switching office means if you are living in the heart of the city near to the Airtel office, that means you are living near to the central office. But suppose if I am living at Patel Nagar, at remote area somewhere in Bhopal near Raisen Road, Raisen district, so that means I am living in a very remote area. So one disadvantage of DSL is the more you go farther away from the central office, your speed gets reduced. So what they have done is they have installed many such local switching offices which are connected to your central office via fiber optic cables. So halfway it is fiber optic cables, and the rest of the region, I'm using these cables to reflect the normal twisted pair telephone, copper telephone lines. And these are your copper lines, copper cables. So they are using a combination of fiber as well as copper cables. So this part is known as node. This central office is known as your node. So fiber to the node, this is known as fiber to the node connection. that is halfway through to the central office, to the switching office, fiber optic cables are used, and to up to the customer's premises, copper cables are used. So with this also we can get considerably high speeds. And if suppose instead of these copper cables you had fiber optic cables, that would become last mile fiber optic technology, that is fiber to the home, FTTH. Understood? So with fiber to the node DSL technology, GFast has acquired speeds of 170 Mbps over a quarter mile in the lab. That is, in the lab, there are controlled situations, there are no obstacles, there are no electromagnetic interference from various parts, no obstacles. So there the conditions are favorable, conditions are optimum. Okay, so what happens in those conditions? The speed shoots up to 170 Mbps and 1 Gbps over a less usable 100 yards, that is 300 feet in the same setting. Go on reducing the distance, speed will increase manifold. Understood? It works best over short distances. Hence, this is just right now it is in its testing phase. But they have been able to touch this, mere graze this speed. Understood? So normally we get up to 40 Mbps, 70 Mbps. So sometimes it would depend upon our distance from the central office, the technology, existing technology, and the amount of traffic. Understood? Sometimes you may get 3 Mbps, sometimes it may shoot up to 16 Mbps or 32 Mbps. It depends. Understood? A typical connection, now I'll explain this to you students. This is how it works. Central office contains this device known as a DSLAM. Now what is a DSLAM? Let me explain. Its full form is Digital Subscriber Line Multiplexer. Now, what is a multiplexer? I will not explain because it is an engineering topic and I will not confuse you. Just you should know that it is a device which takes in a lot of incoming connections from all subscribers, numerous subscribers. I have an internet connection. I am a subscriber. So I am having a modem. So subscriber modem, you can imagine that my modem is a subscriber modem. Similarly, one of you might be using, out of 60 students, maybe say 10 students are using fixed line broadband. So you also become another subscriber over here. Got it? So this is what these lamps, they take in incoming connections from the different subscribers. So you can see this is the central office and this is a switching office kept at a bigger distance. Why? Because these houses are located in remote areas. They are a little towards the outskirts of the city. Understood? And these houses are almost near to the central office. Hence, they are directly connected with directly connected with copper cables. These twisted cables in pairs which you can see, these are copper cables. So here the speed will be more. But here what will happen is, because the distance between the central office and the homes is more, that is the reason why halfway up to the switching office, fiber optic links are used to give a boost to the speed. So speed will be higher, and from this office to the subscriber modem, that is to the house, what is used? Copper cables are used. The same technology which right now is there with my modem, with the Airtel connection which I am using. Got it? So this is a very simple deployment architecture of DSLAM used by ADSL connections. And at your home, this would be your setup. So in every locality, you might have seen there is a small blue colored box. Okay. And that blue colored box is a box which gives you internet connection, which is directly connected to a switching office. And that blue colored box is connected to the switching office. And that blue colored box is also connected to numerous subscribers in a particular locality. Okay. Say about 3 or 4 houses. Understood? Depending upon its capacity. And so from that box you might get a connection which comes into your wall socket. Like right now One connection is coming through a small copper cable which is running through my walls, and it directly comes into the splitter, and from the splitter both connections get split. One goes into the modem, another goes into the telephone. Next is cable internet broadband. It has the same infrastructure as cable television, integrated into the cable television infrastructure. Now, cable internet broadband is again another type of broadband. You all might have heard about Hathway. Many of you are having the cable television network provided by Hathway, isn't it? So that is what. Now Hathway also provides internet broadband connection. So how is that broadband connection going to come to you? So normally the existing cable television infrastructure is used for giving internet connection. Up to 1 Gbps of download speeds are provided, and upload speeds are 384 kbps to 50 mbps. That's also not bad, but cable internet broadband is a bit costlier as compared to ADSL. Some cable internet broadband service providers in India, you can just take a look. We have Railtel, City Broadband. Then this is a local broadband service I found, Bhavani Cable and Broadband Services. See, normally all cities have their own local cable television network like Hathway, City Cable. Like before, we switched over to digital television. There was a phase when there was a constant promotion of digital television, having a set-top box to access your cable television network. Otherwise you won't be able to watch television. You remember, we had that time. So when all of us quickly upgraded to either Tata Sky or Airtel Digital TV or Reliance Digital TV or Videocon D2H, so right now we all are having access to those digital television networks. So now what happened, earlier these local players, they used to provide us cable network, but slowly they also started upgrading to a digital cable network through which they provided us television broadcast. Okay, now what happened is they are also jumping into the market of providing broadband using the same cable television infrastructure. Take a look at some more service providers, cable broadband service providers. We have Spectranet. You can see what they are providing: wireless broadband, cable broadband, voice over IP. That is, you can speak to people like I'm using voice over IP. Okay, that is over internet protocol. I'm speaking to everybody, not using the telephone network, but using the internet network. Okay, because internet, remember one thing, students, your voice network will only be able to carry voice, because it only works until uh, works it only accepts frequencies up to 3.4 kilohertz. But your normal, as I already told you, the normal copper telephone wires, they are capable of carrying more data. That is, they can carry voice also and higher frequencies also. So data, that is internet, it can carry voice as well as internet signals. Got it? Internet security, hot zones. Hot zones are nothing but hotspots. ACT FiberNet, then boom band. And this is a normal setup. You can see a cable point, just like a wall socket we talked about in ADSL. Goes one and it goes into the splitter. Splitter breaks it into two. One goes into your set-top box and through there to the television. That is, this is for television network, all the channels which you watch. And another one goes into your modem and to your computer. So this is the cable broadband network.
Ma'am, I'm asking that wired broadband or ADSL network, which one is better?
Which broadband you talked about?
Ma'am, in ADSL and wired that you just explained.
See, ADSL is a wired broadband. Wired, okay, WIRED, wired. Understood? So ADSL is right now the thing is. cost is also a factor and quality is also a factor. ADSL provides you better speeds, good speed in a reason within a reasonable price. You don't have to pay uselessly extra price. Like for example, I'll give you my case. I'm paying 825 rupees per month. My rental is 699 per month, which is almost 700 rupees. Okay, and including GST, I have to pay 825 rupees in a month. My downloads are free. Even if I finish my internet data quota, I get maximum speed downloads up to 105 GB per month in one billing cycle. And once that gets over, I will still be getting 1 Mbps of speed, which is not bad at all. Understood? So this is what it provides you: good speed within reasonable costs. But talking about cable broadband, no doubt it also provides very good speeds, but the cost is more. People in our country living in an economy like India, we cannot afford to have a cable broadband service. Normally, what comes under cable, they use coaxial cables and fiber optic cables to provide internet connection, and fiber optic technology is way costlier as compared to our this copper telephone network. Okay, copper cables.
Ma'am, is voice over IP is similar to voice over LTE?
No, voice over LTE is coming through cellular network. Voice over IP is over your this. Now the thing is, I'll give me some time. I'll confirm and tell you. But as far as I know, voice over IP is provided by fixed line broadbands. Okay. VoLTE,
Okay, ma'am.
that is long term evolution. That is a 4G technology. Okay.
In the term the RJ45 cable,
RJ45 is a registered jack. Its full form is registered jack 45. It's a standard of cables or connectors which are used for connecting two ends, for terminating two ends of an Ethernet cable. This Ethernet cable is actually a twisted pair cable which is used for providing internet connections. Okay. It is capable of carrying voice as well as data.
Ma'am, what can be the highest internet speed in fiber cables?
Fiber optic cables highest internet speed right now, as I talked, it can shoot up to 1 Gbps if done in controlled environment. Okay, and normal it can be like up to 100 Mbps. 100 Mbps, almost all fixed line players, fixed line brands, they are already providing us. Got it?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, also can you repeat the full form of DSLAM?
DSLAM is Digital Subscriber Line Access Multiplexer.